Hello, good evening. I'm sorry, I'm shaking this. I'm going to get started a couple minutes early just so this way I can get everything set up and ready for this interesting little conversation we're going to be having this evening. I do this because I want to help as many people as possible. I also want life to make sense to you. I feel when life makes sense, it's easier. Sounds nuts, but it is. You can also learn not to take things so seriously. I mean, it's good to be serious, obviously, not all the time. So I'm just going to I'm going to wait a minute, but I am going to ask you guys. First of all, let's just get started. I'm going to say welcome. Welcome, everybody. Hi, I am Janie Daly. I'm your psychic life coach. I'm also a nurse and a minister. Um, did do hypnotherapy, but can't really do that because it seems that I'm the one that goes to sleep, not the patient. But also, I do animal communications and I communicate with people on the other side. I communicate with God, with Jesus, Archangel Michael, your divine family, my divine family. Please know I say divine family, it shortens it because you have so many around you that watch over you. It's easier to just say your divine family. Trust me when I say that. And again, my divine family, it's God, it's Jesus, it's Archangel Michael, it's saints, angels. I know Mother Mary's around. I know that my deceased loved ones are with me, my pets and people. I know that they're around me. And there's so many of them that they are my divine family. Well, you have a divine family too. And your divine family is everyone that you've loved in your life, here and on the other side. And you don't have to have my same belief systems. No, you need to believe in what you feel comfortable with. Okay. But I do stress if you haven't had or found anyone or anything to believe in, I encourage you to do so. There's a lot of people who don't believe in God. Oh, and I read something today that somebody had written about um I don't know, your wish maker in the sky or something to one of my clients. They had said that's one of my clients. And she's like, I'm upset about that. And I was like, no, don't be upset about it. Because many people, you can't see. Okay, here's an example. You can't see love. You can't see love. You can feel love, but you're not going to see it. So if you say, hey, prove this to me, prove that you love me, that's going to take actions, right? And with time, it takes a little bit of time and actions. Well, same thing with God. God will give you signs. Oh, you better ask. Oh, no, I should say ask, but you better be ready to receive because you will. But anyway, I'll get into that as I get some people into my little classroom here. But again, I'm Janie Daly. In our sessions, we talk about everything. I have always been gifted. Through life, I always took it as almost kind of like being cursed. And hello, Karen. So, but as I have gotten older, um, it's not a curse, it's a blessing. So, I do have gifts that, again, I call them gifts, where I can see things that most people cannot see, and I can see things about you. But please know, I don't like go delving in your business. I don't go delving in people's lives. It's not my business. That would be like me opening your mail. That's not cool. But also, I'm a little busy and I've got my own stuff to worry about. So I really don't have the time or the energy to be so worried about you and like minding your business. But you'll find that everybody has the sixth sense. Everybody has the sixth sense. So, Karen, I'm going to get started because I did start like a minute early to kind of get acclimated. But I'm going to talk tonight about something that I have been seeing things about for a long time. And it's about the Wizard of Oz and how our lives are like the Wizard of Oz. So I asked you also, you guys, please get subscribers. I really want to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month. So if you could hit subscribe, it's free to subscribe. Hit like and share. I would so appreciate all of your help. Hello, Miss Judy. So we're going to talk about tonight the Wizard of Oz. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the Wizard of Oz, when we were kids, remember it was the old black and white one. There was 2 shows that we watched as kids. And one was Cinderella with Stuart Damon, and Leslie Ann Warren. And the other one was the Wizard of Oz. So with my mom, she'd always like get us set up and we would watch those 2 big things, right? Do you guys remember that? Yes. The Wizard of Oz. I don't know. I think it used to scare my little brother and my friends. I remember like they thought it was kind of creepy. I always thought it was very fascinating. And I actually use some of that stuff, which I'll go through because I have like a little list here and compare it. So you guys, I know, right, Karen? Oh my gosh. I know, I love them. I love the movies. And it was like so special. My mom was just wonderful. She was such a great mom. I was so blessed to have her for the 7.5 years that I did, because she made those movie like special nights. And I think that's part of why I love them too, and why I didn't have any fear, because they were movies. We enjoyed them. But anyway, so imagine the Wizard of Oz. Okay. Dorothy is home and she's talking to everybody and doing her thing. She's home. That's when we are on the other side. Now, I'm not saying that our life is going to be like, because being on the other side, it's completely different than here. So kind of take this, what I'm going to teach tonight, at face value, because it's on the other side. There's no gender, and I don't want to get into all that stuff. So let's just say, though, for the sake of my little example, is that Aunt Em's house before the tornado, that's heaven. And it's nice. And we're with our loved ones and life is good. We've got everyone around us that we love. So then the storm being birthed. Hello, Miss Jerry. Welcome. And for those of you who have children, you may agree that birth, a little painful. But and welcome to everybody coming in, and for those of you that are joining and part of the replay group, I'll say. But again, we are focusing on the Wizard of Oz comparisons. And if you guys want to put any comments in, please do. Okay, so then all of a sudden, Dorothy is sleeping. And the thing with the sleeping, there's also, and I'm kind of jumping ahead with this, but with the sleeping, that is when you are communicating. You are also traveling to the other side. So let's say Dorothy is sleeping, she lands in Oz. And, so we're born. That's when you're born. You're born, you're looking around, you're seeing like all of this beauty. Because you guys, there is so much beauty. Okay. So she sees all of the beauty and she's curious and she's wondering, where is she? She finds the yellow brick road. The yellow brick road, that is your life. You're always, always, always on the right path. Always. Always. The difference is when you're on the path and you have decisions to make, You should always make the decision that feels right for you. But you find when you go home, if there were certain things or certain detours you could have taken, you'll see that when you go home. But for right, you're always on the right path. Always. It's just, that's why it's so fascinating. It's like magical. Life is magical, you guys, because it is. Like, even if we have like 3 options that we can do, let's say, while we're here, okay, but we do an option that, on the other side, we were thinking of doing that option, things are going to change. But it kind of acclimates to all be pretty much the same towards the end of when you reach the end of the yellow brick road. Okay, anyway, so you'll notice I'm going to say the witches. Let's go to the witches next. Good, bad. That's pretty self-explanatory, because here it's like, you can have, I like to say, like, we could say like an angel and the devil. So you have one angel who, is loving and helpful and will do whatever. And that's how your angels are. But then you have the devil. And I'm not going to speak like, because I don't want to get very deep into this kind of stuff, but the devil is more looking out for him or herself, not so much for your interest. The devil always wants something from you, even if it's your dignity. Okay, so you'll find in life, there's always a fight with good and bad. And you guys, it's a spiritual warfare here and on the other side. That's why, don't say you don't believe in stuff. If you don't understand it, study it. You can study it with me. I will be more than happy to show you. I can also tell you what to ask for when you go to sleep at night, so that you can have knowledgeable God dreams, so you can learn this. But anyway, so you're going to have good and bad in life as you're going down that yellow brick road, which is your life path. And if you notice, when you're on the yellow brick road, you meet some scary things, and you meet several wonderful creatures. So when I discussed with Jeannie that I was going to do this, Jeannie wanted to say that the creatures that she met were husbands. But that was really funny, and I really like that. But I look at them as spirit guides. The Tin Man, the Lion, the Scarecrow, right? They are spirit guides. You have spirit guides. You don't have the same spirit guides. They stay with you. Okay, they're always with you in this lifetime. But you learn as you grow, as you age, your wisdom enhances. So you have a more involved guide who is going to teach you yet another lesson that you need to learn. And if you notice with those 3, there was always, what was it? It was courage, a heart, and courage, love, and a brain. But it's 3 various lessons. And that's how it is in life. Now, if you want to know who your guides are, your guides 8 out of 10 times are people who have 9 out of 10 times are people who have had many lives, but have decided to spend time as a guide, live as a guide. They don't want to come back. Sometimes you have some that change their minds and they're going to give it another try. But overall, they don't. But they walk with you. That's why here's what I'm going to give you guys an assignment. This is for everybody watching this right now. You want to know who your guide is? Ask, who is my spirit guide that walks with me now? Because I'll tell you this, when you're talking to yourself, you're actually talking to your spirit guide because you guys are very close. Pay attention and ask your guide, I want to hear your name at least 3 times in 2 days, let's say, or 3 times in 1 day would be good. Be specific with time though, because they're really terrible with time. I say that with love and respect, but they're really bad with time. I say, by like midnight tonight, or you have till midnight tomorrow, our time, okay? But I want to see your name. I want to either read it, I want to turn on the TV and hear one of the characters' names or that. I want to, or maybe I overhear somebody talking about it. I pick up a magazine and I'm reading your name. So, because it is amazing. I got to tell you, I'm going to share really quick. I don't want to go off topic, but give you an example. So this is like another kind of story, but I asked to see the name Amy. Okay. The name that I was looking for was Aimee. And I said, since that's a different name, I said, I just want to hear this name. I want to read it. I just want to hear it, read it, whatever, however way that I'm aware of it. I want to see it. But I want to see it by the end of tonight, on this day, midnight, when the clock strikes 12. And you guys, please know, I'm not being like nasty or facetious. I do have like kind of a sick sense of humor, but you have to also have some humor. And they really are bad with time. Because sometimes it's like, okay, when, you're saying you expected today at 12, you wake up tomorrow morning and come to find out the weatherman who's filling in for the normal guy is going to be the name of your guide. So with that kind of stuff, you got to give them some credit, right? Anyway, so, and this was early in the morning when I had asked, and I went through the day and I still didn't hear anything. So I decided to go up to my room later. Now, I had this nice, pretty chair, and it's had stuff sitting on it for probably 2 months, if not longer. And I go and I get in my bed because I had a whole bunch of paperwork. So I decided, I'm going to go ahead, do my paperwork up here. But I'm looking at the chair. And all of a sudden, I had like things that I had in my younger days, in my youth. I liked organization at that moment. I looked and I was like, man, I have time for that. And I'm tired. So I thought, oh, for crying out loud, let me clean that because I can't focus now on the work I got to do because now I'm interrupted by the stuff on a chair. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can wait one more day. Oh, and this is honestly, so if my guides get through to me, they're going to get through to you. Trust me. So I put my stuff to the side, get up, go over, and I start doing stuff. And I didn't realize there was so much stuff on that chair. You guys, I get to the very, very bottom, and I see paper, a newspaper. And I was like, what's this? And it was an old, it was a paper. It was I think it had like a coupon or something on it, but I didn't see the coupon thingy. I saw the other. And I was like, what? And it's talking about like a job for a truck driver. I was like, okay, nah, it's nothing to me. And then I see that there is a house for sale. And Karen, you're going to know Amy. It was, I think, Aimee Estates, but it was Aimee. And I was like, son of a gun. And that time too, looking at the watch, I was like, you guys are good. You only have 25 more minutes left, but you did it. But again, I say that with love, always with love. But yes, I think it was Amy. It was an Amy Court, Aimee. And I think it was Amy Clay. It was about a house on a court. It was Amy something court. Yeah. Because then when I turned it around, I don't know, it was some like some coupon, like one of the kids had cut out and left in my chair, which was a nice chair, but it's a piece of paper. But yes, but it was AIMEE. So you see, you ask, you will definitely receive. Okay, so you guys, continuing then. So you meet your spirit guides along the way. And you see, there's a lot of interesting people. They meet like all of these, various people all along the way. And it is fun. It is fun. Life is what you make of it. And I can tell you, if you just get up and, oh, I'm just not happy, it's going to be a miserable day, then it's going to be a miserable day. Don't allow it to be miserable. Smile, laugh. I actually put stuff up in my kitchen of things that have happened. Like I have this thing even up here. Well, I have it in my kitchen, like on things that are funny that I found incredibly funny. So I would write them down and put them on a card in my kitchen. So I can I look at them and I laugh. But when you laugh and when you smile, you're telling your brain, hey, I'm happy. And the brain starts to believe it. And it does. It works. It does work. And okay, so going through Yellow Brick Road, okay, they're still going. And when they lay down and everybody falls asleep, when that happens to you, the best way that I can describe these kind of dreams, it's the kind of dream where the kind of sleep, you lay down and you're exhausted. I mean, you might in the beginning been like, I'm not really tired. Kind of tired, but not real tired. But I'll go to bed. But then once you start sleeping, it becomes almost like a drugged sleep, which is the kind of sleep for those sleepy fields in the Wizard of Oz. It's like where, sprinkle, like magic sprinkle dust. So when you have those kind of dreams, that is actually when you are having visitations. You are having either God dreams, because a lot of times that's when I have my God dreams, or you are having visitations with your deceased loved ones and or your angels and your guides. So it means something. And you guys, it's the craziest kind of sleep because you really, for those of you that have had surgeries, that's what it feels like. It feels like you're drugged. That it's the only way I can say it. It feels like a druggie. And I don't take anything to go to sleep. But yeah, so I compare that. Now, one of the things that I use too, because one question people ask me, especially kids will say, well, Miss Janie, how does God see everybody? And like God knows, she was asking me about her granddad too. How can he see me and see my mommy and my daddy too when they're at work? Good question. And I use the Wizard of Oz, but unfortunately I gotta use the Bad Witch. Sorry. They should have had this secret balls for everybody, not just the Bad Witch. But did you remember the Bad Witch when she's looking in her ball, like crystal ball, I guess, the big crystal ball, and she's able to track where they are? That's kind of how it is. They can see us. It's very hard to explain as the words we don't have. But you guys, again, I'm going to use mothers. You can tell things about your kids. Like you'll know things. And you can automatically, moms, first of all, like if there's something wrong, most of the time, they know. It's telepathic. And that's a lot of it. It's telepathic. It's telepathy. But you're also connected. We are all connected. So it's like, oh, I know, better example. It's like twins, triplets. They are connected. They know each other. They know what each other is thinking, feeling. That's how it is on the other side. And that's how it is through life. So the thing too that is neat, of course, there's fighting all along the way. And it is a spiritual warfare. It is. You guys, I don't want to scare anybody, but I need you to be aware. But that would be like me, like saying, hey, yeah, I just went to this neighborhood and it was really nice. And I don't want to scare anybody because I don't want to tell anybody, or I don't tell anybody how it really is because I don't want to scare you. That's ridiculous, because it's all about safety. But you have somebody who is doing drugs, excessive alcohol abuse, and to the point too, they are shutting down. They're not the people they used to be. Beware, because sometimes another entity, a lower level entity, will step in. And lots of times it's those same kind of entities that they lived a life with booze and or drugs. The way to tell is they are different. Your loved one made like different kinds of food, different drinks. They might dress differently. And and some of them too can like be a little not very nice. But anyway, it's important to be aware of that kind of stuff, because then you can at least, if you want to have drinks, let's say, surround myself with the white light of the Holy Spirit, Archangel Michael. I'm going to have some cocktails with the girls tonight. Please keep me safe. Please keep me safe. But see, I know better also. I can't partake in a lot of stuff, most stuff, everything, because of the work that I do. So, and that's fine. But it is important, be aware. Okay, so this is important because I just had this conversation with somebody else. So you're going down the yellow brick road and you're hearing all along the way about the wizard. And the wizard's so mean. Oh, everybody fears the wizard. It's like, oh, you're going to the wizard? Oh my gosh. Had a conversation with somebody the other night. Oh yeah, about dying. And, his response was kind of, get to meet the fearful God, the God-fearing man or something like that. I was like, what are you talking about? And for those of you who know me, my mom was like a strong Catholic lady. And we would go to church at the folk mass, like 11:30 on Sunday mornings. I still remember the time and everything. My poor mother, because, I'll never forget, I was on her left side, looking at the mass, looking at the priest, he's talking, and I was listening. I was listening, and I think I was probably 5. And I was like, and I remember this too, very clearly. I remember thinking, who's he talking about? So I continued to listen. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I tug on my mom. And of course, the children, you know how children whisper, Mom, who's that man talking about? That's not the God I know. The God I know, it's very kind. And my mother was like, shh, okay. No, but seriously, Mom, who's he talking about? So yeah, my poor mother used to start then bringing me mallow cups. So before the sermons, I would get mallow cups. And I never really figured out why till later, because mallow cups have marshmallow. Keeps you quiet. But anyway, and it's not the God I know. I don't. So I don't understand it when people are preaching and saying, oh, you're wearing makeup? Yeah. Oh, God says no. Okay. Come on. That's ludicrous. Like, be embarrassed to say that to somebody. And you guys, that's like, like when you're working, when you're working and stuff, and somebody like, that just doesn't make sense. Makes no sense. But they were all afraid of the wizard. The difference, what kind of a difference? The way, and I feel like man has done this, like the way the wizard was like using, like what, megaphones and everything like that to be frightening. But that, I believe, was to be taken seriously, because if, I'm just seeing this now, because if everybody believed that God was just like you and me, would there be any respect? Or would the world be worse than it is? So, but you see, they did find the wizard, and they found, and that I liken the wizard to God, because it's that being that can help you with everything and is going to get you home. One more thing though, with the witch, the way the witch was kept at bay, so to speak, I don't like to say killed or melted. She was melted. What's with water? Spiritual people, we dream about water. Water is very spiritual. It's very healing. That's why if you want to get the negativity off, get in water. That's why baptisms and all of that, it's done in water. Water is very healing, very spiritual. So you see, and God is there to bring you home, like at the end of The Wizard of Oz. And then, as you see, at the end, she ended up being with the family. But she was, that to me, that's like going back to heaven. Like that life. You walk that whole yellow brick road. You meet all these people. You have all of these experiences. And you come back to God at the end. And where you do your life review, and you're kind of debriefed, I'm going to say, because life is a little hard. And you go home, and God gets you there safely. And then you do see everybody that you were with over here. So the other part about that is you always see, and you're always connected to your loved ones that you live life with here. Because even if they don't, like if in the next life, your loved one here doesn't participate in that life, they are still on the other side. You're related. You are always, we select. Life is like a play. And we select the play that we want, but we come back as different characters each time. So you're always with that family. But that's too why you'll find it when you meet people right away. It's like, some of them you don't like. You just don't, and you don't know why. And then there's others you feel very comfortable with and feel like you know that person and known them forever because you know these people. You've had experiences with them. So does everybody understand when we talk about the Wizard of Oz? Because I always I've been feeling like this for so long. And I was watching with my grandchildren and was like, wow, it is so on point to how life is. It's kind of neat. It is really neat, especially with the spirit guides, because that is how it is. And we do help each other because remember, the whole goal is soul perfection. And I feel like the spirit guides are pretty much either there or close to there. So we're helping each other. I mean, it could be too that I probably will happen that my one spirit guide is going to be like, yeah, John, she's had me cursing. I'm taking up smoking again. So I got to come back and do another life. Yeah. I mean, I would hope that I wouldn't drive my spirit guide to that point. But, but anyway. So, you guys, that is what I wanted to talk about with the Wizard of Oz, and also being on your life path. Because I do get a lot of people that will say to me, they say to me, like, oh, sorry, you guys, stand up. They will say, oh my gosh, am I on the right path? I feel like I'm not. It's like, yeah, you are. Why wouldn't you be? And sometimes when you feel so different and at odds, it's just new. It's a new experience. But I am going to ask you again to ask your guide. Say, I want to see you. I could ask to see in dreams and ask for their name. And some of you may keep hearing two different names, so then you'll know that that's two different guides. Yeah. They are very careful how they appear. Your angels too. Everybody's like, oh, well, I mean, if this was real, then I would see it. Well, see, they know you better than you know you. So they know that, first of all, really psychic people are psychic kids. And then when kids see things, it scares them. And especially if the family is saying like that it's bad or it's their imagination and they're crazy, then they tend to lock that away for a while and lock it away for as long as they can. So let's say here this happened to you guys, and here you're adults, and you're actually starting to enjoy this because it's nice. It's like it's a whole nother sense that you can like enjoy because it is fun. You can have like games and stuff with the sixth sense. It's fun. And it does help. It's very helpful too. But sorry, I was thinking of games. Like, I don't mean to change the subject. But one of the things is Pictionary. I never understood, you guys. Everywhere I would go, people were like, oh, you want to play Pictionary? No. Why want to? By myself. I'd be in another room. And back in the days, I used to smoke. So that's when I'd be like, I'll be back. I go outside, puffing, going, why do people always ask me to play Pictionary? This is another too. Now keep in mind, I'm outside smoking. Why? Scratching my head. Every party I go to, Janie, you want to play Pictionary? Even the kids. I'm like, no, I'm terrible at Pictionary. Remember, I always teach when you are left like scratching your head going, why did this happen? It's divine intervention, and I guarantee you there's a special meaning behind it. I guarantee that. You will never have something happen where you're like amazed or just because. There's always a reason. And I come to find out, I learned that in order to do this work and to try to be successful at it, lots of times they do Pictionary. Pictionary. God bless them all, though, because our little secret here, now everybody's little secret, I'm really not good at Pictionary. And it got to the point, too, like my kids wouldn't even have me play on their teams. Like no one would choose me. Most of the time, I just wanted to keep the score. But they do. And you will see that, you guys. You will see Pictionary. If somebody's trying to talk to you, they will show you pictures. I make it very clear and understanding that I don't understand that. So either talk to me or like treat me like I'm 5. And I really don't understand this picture you're trying to show me. With time, of course, and with age, you do get better. You really do. But it's all in the messages, you guys. It's all in the messages. Um, I'm sorry. I was thinking that, and I was like, does anybody play Pictionary here? Because that would be interesting. I'm surprised. Karen, do you like play like with the family? Or Jerry? Jerry, your family would probably play Pictionary too. Mm, definitely. Yeah, it is a fun game. It is fun. But anyway, um, going back to everything though, enjoy it. Enjoy life. It is hard, but don't ever let it get so dark. If you recognize that you are like Dorothy and you are walking along a yellow brick road, but in this case, let's say the golden brick road, and you're not alone. You're never ever alone. You are so loved. And it's so funny because, okay, I love having help because they keep showing me, see these pictures, these crazy pictures. I do need to go back then. Okay, so going back to as a kid being afraid and then adult, you kind of start to close it off, your sixth sense, and you're finally, so now you guys, you're like, yeah, I'm getting this, and you're not feeling afraid. Maybe some of you may be a little timid, but you're not afraid. Well, come on. Your angel knows, your guides know that it would probably scare the heck out of you if they just popped in front of you going, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Gabrielle. Remember me? I've been trying to show you my name. You would probably be on the ground with palpitations. They don't want to scare you. So for those people that are saying, well, if they were for real, they would just pop up in front of me. Well, how do you know they don't? But maybe you don't want to see it because you're too scared. But they do know. They love you. And that's the other thing, because you have these beings. You saw too with Dorothy and her little buddies, like everybody, they were best friends. And then you saw on the other side, or I should say, when she got home, they were her friends. They were always connected and always friends. So that's what I'm saying. There's no reason to be lonely. No reason to feel like you have no one, because you really do. All you have to do is ask. And you can even say, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Because they do. They're with you. So, on that note, Jerry says, yes, that would be you as far as being afraid, do you think? I know. I want to ask a question, and I would love to ask this question, but I don't want to get into like hot topic debates. But Jerry, would you be afraid then? But that makes sense. Jerry, it makes sense. In my younger days, when I was sitting in that builder's house, because I was a real estate agent at that time, I could feel him. I knew he was there. And he had beautiful Baldwin Estates. It was Baldwin Estates in Baltimore County. Beautiful house. And this was his home. And the foyer was huge. So I'm sitting closer to the door, set up my little spot. And in my head, I'm seeing like a comfortable chair on the other side with a table. That's something else. Pay attention to that, because I could see it clear as if it was sitting there, but the house was completely unfinished. So, but I knew he was there. And so I said, okay, look, Mr. Baldwin, I don't mind if you hang out with me. I'd appreciate it because, I'll have company to talk to. And yes, you guys, I really do talk to them. And it's okay. I, I would totally fail like all of the psych questions. At least it's fun. But anyway, so yeah. So I'd say, I don't care. You are more than welcome to stay. I mean, because after all, this is your house. But I don't want to see you. And I don't mean to be rude. I just don't want to see you. All of a sudden, I hear bang, the door at one of the bedrooms shut. Well, there's no windows open. And I knew that because, of course, I did a walkthrough of the house first. And sure enough, I go upstairs. But as I'm walking up the steps, I'm going, that's not fair. This is included in the seeing stuff. That's not even nice. Go up. And of course, one of the bedroom doors was closed. There was no draft. So, and then there was one more thing about that house. So the agent didn't give me much information about it. So I just, you do your research, but I didn't get much. But I went upstairs to the attic doing my preview for myself by myself to prepare for potential buyers. I'm looking in the attic, and in my head again, I could see charring. So, and then I'm so used to like being connected. So mentally, I think I asked mentally, was there a fire here? And I heard like an affirmation. Says, oh, okay, all right. So anyway, when I did get back later, the realtor is a little older lady, and she was kind of grouchy. Nice lady, God rest her soul, Miss Marion. But I said to her about, I bet you that he had a really nice recliner in that main room, right? Like, in the foyer, because that was big. And she looked at me. She goes, how do you know that? Well, because I like decorating. And for those of you that know me, no, that's not my forte. And then I go, was there a fire though too in the attic? And then she turned around, she stopped what she was doing, and she's like, okay, who have you been talking to? I guess she thought I was trying to steal her listing. I said, somebody told me that in the neighborhood, they stopped in and they told me about the chair too. Yeah, about everything. Yeah. She never asked me to do another, sitting in open house for her again. But yes. So long story. All my stories are long. I get that it's frightening, but remember, numero uno, Archangel Michael watches over people like us. Archangel Michael watches over us. Here's another thing. You want to see him? Give him permission to appear. He will do it in a way where he will not scare you. I know, I'm just going to say her first name, Tammy. Tammy used to work for the county, and she said one day, because that's what I did in my workshop, I was told by him that ask if they want to see me, I'll appear. And of course, not like in a scary way, but the kind, because you have to be aware. If you're asking to see someone, then you need to be aware, look around for at least a day or two. But anyway, so she said that she's leaving. She's going down a hallway, and she says this really attractive guy like walked by, and he had like boots on, and she's like, he was beautiful. He walked by me, she says, and he said, hello, Tammy. And she was like, wait, what? She turned around and she looked. He was gone. Yes, Archangel Michael's very attractive. He takes on a very, very attractive appearance, ladies. But anyway, oh, Francis the Talking Mule. Oh, I don't think I knew that one. But okay, you guys. So, yes, that is for tonight, our little chat for tonight. Um, I guess I wanted to show you the comparison because it's not scary. And you saw at the end that Dorothy came out. Yeah, Karen, you definitely want to meet Archangel Michael. Oh yeah. Oh, seriously, when I saw him in the liquor store that time, and I have like another vlog where it talks about that. I when I saw him, you guys, it was so crazy. It's almost the only way I can explain it. It's almost like two people that work in the CIA. Okay? We work in the CIA when we're undercover. I don't even know how to explain it. But it's like we had a bond. There was definitely a bond. And it's kind of like knowing each other, but not blowing our cover. And I can't even explain it, but that's the best way that I can explain. But I guarantee you, when I got out to my car, because I was having a party at my office in Bel Air. So I called the young lady to let her know that I picked up wine. She didn't have to. And when I got her on the phone, I was like, oh my gosh, Christine, oh, you should see this guy in the liquor store. Oh my gosh, I gotta go. Bye. Because then it hit me. That was Archangel Michael. Because I had just gone tanning. Yes, I used to do that too in my smoking. I didn't have very good habits in my earlier years. But anyway, and stopping at the liquor store too. Probably not a whole bunch of good habits. But that was for the party. But anyway, before going into the liquor store, I actually went tanning. And I was laying there and I was talking to Archangel Michael, saying, look, I really want to see you. I like always talk to you and I feel your presence, but I want to see you with my two eyes. Yeah. So when I'm sitting in the car and I'm talking about this hot looking guy, which I don't mean to be disrespectful, and he laughs, he's got a very good sense of humor. And yeah, and then that's when I went back in. I hung up on her and I had to go back in. But of course, by then he was gone. Oh, and the guy next to him who owns the store. I mean, again, I did a whole thing on it that is in my on the board here at my YouTube studio. Yeah, so if you just go to like my main channel, you'll see I have a whole bunch of different shows, and it said like Archangel Michael. Yes, I saw him in a liquor store. But yes, but you guys, it was amazing. And what I love too, it gives you like another, because this is kind of like a Wizard of Oz thing in a way, where when I walked in, the guy behind the counter was behind the counter when I was there. And I was like, yes, hey, where's that guy that was standing next to you? Because and this is lying, did me no good, but I said, I think I went to school with him. And he looked at me and he's like, hasn't been that long for you to have been drinking all that alcohol. And I was like, pardon me? He's like, nobody was here. No, nobody's here. So I was like, yeah, because I was doing a Christmas party. So it was around the holidays. And he said, nobody's been in the store but me. Now, when I talk about like the Wizard of Oz, he was very helpful. He looked through the store. He showed me a photo of his employees at his Christmas party and said to me, is he in here? And, I said, no. So he did his best. He was kind. That's why kindness, you guys, kindness matters so much. But he was a teacher and he was put there to assist me. And now I'm sharing this with you. So yeah, there's people. That's why take that minute, make a difference, help, help. It is a game of Clue. Life is Clue. Each and every person, we teach and we learn from each and every person that we meet. So have kindness and have patience. else. Okay. So on that note, you guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm going to start experimenting on TikTok. Archangel Michael's going to have to help me with that too. He's very good with electronics. But please hit subscribe and like and share this video. And if you want to schedule a session with me, JanieDaly@gmail.com, or for those of you who have my cell, please just send me a text message, or you can contact me on Facebook Messenger. The big thing too is parties. The psychic parties are getting pretty popular. But I think it's a lot of people want, because this is a 9-year, everybody. You guys, we're in a 9-year, 2025. Add that up, comes to 9. So it's a lot of endings this year. So if you want to get a grip on things, or a head start even, as to like, because next year it's brand new beginnings. So there's supposed to be some things you don't want this year, or you don't want to continue, that you need to discontinue. So that's nice, because like with the psychic party, you can do it with your friends, or schedule a session, and I will help you out. So you guys, thank you for joining me in my chat. And as usual, I go always so long, but I appreciate all of you so much. I do. So light workers, I send you guys many angel blessings and so much love. So you guys, thank you again. Oops. Sorry, I'm like hitting buttons. All right. Love you all. Thank you again. And I shall see you next Tuesday, 7:30.